Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Hamilton Rotary and joint with Kiwanis. Look, we got a fan right there, Civics Day. We're going to ask our past president, Ms. Kim Schmidt, to come and give us the invocation and the pledge.
I got a little fan club out here. This is nice. All right, I'm going to take just a moment to set the stage here. I am also a mother of three, one high schooler, two college students, and for 22 years I have gotten the question from my youth, what is Rotary and why do they get so much of your time? So I want to share with you super quickly, we are a service club organization, as is Kiwanis, and we work together collaboratively to improve our community. We're comprised of community volunteers, business professionals, both active and retired, and we work together to improve our community, whether it's through building beds for kids without beds to sleep on at night through Sleep in Heavenly Peace, adopting families through the Salvation Army so families have Christmas gifts, canned food drives at Thanksgiving. This is what we're about. But more importantly, this is for the youth in the room. I'm looking at each of you. This is why it matters. This is why it matters to you. Because right now, you're in classes and you have classmates, and you're in sports activities, and you have teammates. But as you grow older, those points of connection really lessen. So when you grow older, you're looking for points of connection to build those relationships. And clubs like Rotary and Kiwanis, they do that for you. And these folks in this room are here for you in times of good and bad, and it's really supportive and helpful as you age. So I just want to share with you, as you age, consider participating in Kiwanis or Rotary. Okay, commercial over. Please choose to reflect in the fashion in which you so choose to, and this is how I choose to reflect at this time. Bow your heads. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as a community. I pray for every youth in this room, for their future and current spiritual, physical, and mental health. I pray that they receive hints from you as to the gifts that you've bestowed upon them, so they may serve others in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kim. At this time, we're going to ask our mayor, Mayor Pottmuller, to come forth, and he will conduct the remainder of the program.
Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone, to the Class of 2025 Civics Day overview. Civics Day is a traditional event where students shadow city professionals and school board members, and they shadow these public servants both like inside the building, but many of them do go outside of the building, which is a great experience for our young people. This has been going on, I think, since the 1950s, and I think that's when Tom Nye was attending Jackson Elementary School. But what's great about this event is that students listen and learn from the city and school folks, but also the city and school folks listen and learn from the students. Of course, I want to thank Steve Braun from Hamilton High School, Jordan Seitz from Baden. They are liaisons, but they're really working liaisons. They do lead all of us in this day, and we thank them for that. I want to also thank Judge Gademeyer, because this morning, all the students had a chance to sit through some action going on in the Hamilton Municipal Court. And of course, they saw someone who made a mistake, and there was an overdose, and he wanted to do treatment. And if there was treatment, there would probably not be any kind of a sentencing. Had a DUI case, and they learned that, you've got to follow Ohio law when you've got a certain number of convictions for DUIs. But they also learned that if you don't obey a police officer or you give them the wrong name, you're going to wear a yellow suit. And it's a nice yellow suit, but it says Butler County Jail on the back of it. So thank you, Judge Gademeyer, for the opportunity to give these students a chance to see municipal court action. And I was in Civics Day many, many years ago. I was in a courtroom for Civics Day as an assistant prosecutor, and that's kind of what happened to me. So thank you, Judge. Thank you for your staff and everyone. But also want to thank the student leaders who stepped up to be involved in this event. And I'm sure many of you, all of you, got something out of this. All right. Now, I'm going to read some of the activity that was going on as far as City Council and School Board. I want to kind of run through here what some of the City Council action was for our Civics Day City Council. Mayor Connor Wood. When I mention your name, why don't you stand up? Mayor Connor Wood, I know, is here. He did a great job. He wants to add flashing pedestrian signs at our intersections, including High Street and 7th Street crosswalk, and it makes good sense. He did some research to see which intersections were probably not very safe, the ones that probably need improvements, and that was his idea to do that. And right away, he wanted to get the research and find out what the city was doing as far as hiring a consultant to see which ones had our most unsafe, potentially unsafe intersections. So we appreciate him doing that type of resolution. We also had Vice Mayor Hazel Culver. Okay. Hazel, student at Hamilton High School, and she wants to start back up the Taste of Hamilton event in the city, add music to it, and make it just a great place for all of us to go, as well as our those who come to town for destination locations. So for us, as for those who visit us, how about a Taste of Hamilton? I forgot to mention, Connor Wood goes to Baden High School. All right, next we have Lillianne Thangman. Okay. All these students got along really well, and there was a lot of positive discussion going on at the City Council as well as the School Board. But her idea, to use, of course, state money and any kind of other money we can use besides our own, but to seek funding for improved signage for parking locations. Now, that is an absolutely great idea. And all these ideas, I know our City Council can use, should use. But better signage leads to people not parking where they shouldn't park. And sometimes it's an easy thing to do, and sometimes it's a not easy thing to do. And we've learned that on City Council. And I'm joined here today by Councilmember Susan Bond, and there's all kinds of city people here. But I mean, nothing says welcome to our town any worse than your car getting towed. So that better signage is right on. Thank you. And like I said, all these, the mayors and the vice mayors, these are all great suggestions for us on council. Okay, City Council Member Isabella Tripoli. Now, her idea was to acquire some property located on Main Street, kind of out Main Street, where there may or may not be a Texas Roadhouse there right now, for the purpose of converting that property into a teens club use. Local bands, food, just a place where they can just kind of hang out, maybe meet students from the other high school that we have in town, but the ages like from 14 to 17, it'd be safe. There'd be adult supervisors, security, the whole bit, but we talk about what our 14, 18-year-olds can do around this town, and it's good to hear from someone between the age of 14 and 18 of what we should be doing. Next, we have City Council Member Braylon Even. If I forget to mention, I kept to mention Isabella, Hamilton High School, Braylon, Baden, but they're all our high school students in our city. Okay, Braylon, small business night for local businesses located in Hamilton. I mean, she gets it. She gets that our small businesses are so important to us because a lot of the folks who run small businesses live in Hamilton. So that's how important it is. So that idea of a small business night was also another great idea. Also, we add the music to that. We have City Council Member Connor Hartford. Son of Scott Hartford. Who would have got dead silent on that one? But we all like Scott. We all like your dad, just so you're aware of that. All right, he got a clap over there. Okay. Connor's idea, like I said, these are all great ideas. And Connor goes to Baden, a roundabout at New London and Ross Hanover. Now, I'll tell you what, I take that a lot. I know that is a dangerous, it is a dangerous area. I'm just going to say it needs help. His idea was to make a roundabout there. Matter of fact, right now, I cut through, I think it's that Britton Ridge subdivision to avoid that intersection because it's a tough turn, and you got to be alert or else bad things can happen. So, great idea, and he brought, I think, his life experience into this idea. Okay, we have City Council Member Jerry Snellgrove. He went to our council meeting last night. It's kind of like City Council 101, but he was paying attention back there, so we appreciate, and I think all these council members did visit a council meeting. His idea first originated when he was in elementary school in 2019, I believe. Is that right, 2019? He comes to council with this big board, and some other students all got together, and they put trains on a board, and they came up with a calculator, which will calculate maybe the length of the train, the length of the delay, and possibly a better route. But it was his idea to do something like that for us and for those who visit Spooky Nook and other places around town, is to why not have something which will give that person, whether it's first in line or last in line, possibly an opportunity to go a different route. Better routes, safer, and he mentioned the words electronic magnetic field. I was impressed by that, electronic magnetic field. So, but he actually had a working demonstration of this. It actually worked. So, all right. City Clerk Colin Ellerman. Okay. And again, I keep on forgetting. Jerry goes to Baden. Colin goes to Baden. His idea was to develop a local botanical garden observatory in the former CH&D, the historic train station in the city of Hamilton. And I thought that was a good idea. That could be a destination location, definitely. That was kind of an idea that I have not heard yet for the depot, but a lot of these ideas are good, well worth looking into and actually doing. Okay, City Manager Michaela Platt. Her idea was for a mural that represents both Hamilton High School and Baden High School, located at the Jack Kirsch Underpass. And, you know, this town loves murals, but I can't think of really a better one than if you have both Hamilton and Baden students helping paint it. It's about them, and that just shows community. So, all of these were absolutely great ideas. But that was the city council, and Michaela goes to Hamilton High School. And you'll hear a little bit more about her and our mayor in just a few minutes. I want to go over the school board meeting here. And Jack Blanton, he's a Baden High School student. He wants to change the phone policy at Baden, and I've heard that from other students, so I get that's got some legs to it apparently. Riley Bowling. Okay. And this is the school board for Hamilton, and you may recognize that last name. Your granddaughter of Larry Bowling, is that correct? A great man, and she and the entire school board, they all did a great job. And again, a lot of positive, good discussion going on. Her idea was to hire another part-time cafeteria worker in order to implement changes in the breakfast and lunch program. She thinks it could run smoother with increased staff, but there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, it was a very well thought out proposition for the Hamilton City School Board. All right. Hamilton, this is by Madeline Wagenfield. All right. If that last name sounds familiar, are you the granddaughter of Kathy Wagenfield at a great elementary school here in Hamilton? Okay. Madeline's idea was to incorporate a gifted education program in grades 3 through 6 in order to service identified gifted students and to enrich their educational experience. And she had it well thought out. I mean, all these are well thought out. Two magnet schools, if I'm not mistaken. And again, that was well discussed by, everybody. I mean, it was again, these are our leaders come up with great ideas. And she goes to the Hamilton High School, as well as I think, Larry Bowling's granddaughter goes to Hamilton High School. But I think, Madeline, were you at that when the African contingent was visiting? Yes. I mean, this young lady stood up in front of visitors from Africa who were educators, who were lawyers, who were this. I mean, and she had a good question, and she had a conversation with them, and I thought that was very, very well done by you. Okay. I don't want to forget anyone on this, so I don't want to skip over anybody who had all this work. All right. Camilla Oliva. Okay. Baden High School. She's a student at Baden. Baden will begin to have students paint murals throughout the school building to create community, to inspire change, and enliven the school setting. I was at Baden recently, and I saw the artwork around the walls there, and I actually stopped at almost every piece of artwork. Imagine if you had murals there year-round, year after year. I think that would be great. Who's this next one? Baden High School will incorporate a library that serves both educational and recreational purposes, allowing students access to free books for academic growth and personal enrichment. And I think that was that Aiden Yang Smith? Was that yours? Treasurer? Okay. Well thought out, and being treasurer, he got asked all the questions about how much is this going to cost. This group of council members and school board members, they totally got it. How much is it going to cost, and where's the money going to come from? So Aiden had that responsibility with the school board. Now, we have got Lila Roy. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. Is that right? Did I get that right? Okay, she at Hamilton High School has the idea for Hamilton High School to build a wall to replace the fence along the outside walkway to become a safer option. I mean, so many of these ideas have to do with safety. That's great. I mean, they want this to be a safe community. That was a much discussed about idea. I believe all these had 7-0 votes, or they were all, I think there was one there maybe one no vote, but all these folks got along, discussed. It was well done, and there was a lot of discussion about that wall. Okay, Alexis Brecht. As Connor ran the council meeting, she did a great job running the school board meeting. And her idea, and she's a Baden student, Baden High School will reinstitute an international exchange student program. And great idea. You can learn from others across the ocean. And I know Councilmember Tim Nab with Rotary, and Rotary itself for years, I'm not sure if you're still doing it or not, involved with exchange, and that's a whole different education, a great education. Okay, I think that takes care of all the city council members as well as the school board members. Did I forget anybody who was on council or on school board? All right, good. All right. Now, we are going to hear from our students who were involved in certain Civics Day positions. All right. Mayor Connor Wood, you want to come on up here? You know, I think next year we should have the students vote for a walk-up song or something like that, so they can all have a walk-up song that might fit them. I wouldn't know what it would be for Connor, but okay, Connor told me he wants to go to Case Western Reserve Rheumatology. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Okay. This guy is confident, he's smart, he controlled the meeting very, very well, and he's the one who dug into research about our intersections, and I appreciate him doing that. And I think what he took a look at, because it appeared in the staff report, was, first of all, he looked at the fiscal impact. I think he also found money. But City of Hamilton has a plan called ACTS, A-C-T-S, applying critical transportation safety to increase safety at intersections in the city. He did his homework. Now, he's going to talk to you about his experience. He's going to talk to you about whatever he wants to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Connor Wood.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As some of you know, my name is Connor Wood, and I am a junior at Baden High School, and today have taken on the role of the mayor of the city of Hamilton. Over the past couple of months, myself and other members of Civic Day have experienced the inner workings of the government here in our fine city. But first, I would like to thank several people who make a long-standing tradition like Civic Day possible. First, thank you to Mr. Seitz from Baden High School and Mr. Braun from Hamilton High School, who are the ones who coordinate our two schools to allow this day to be possible. Thank you to Mr. Keating, principal of Baden High School, and Mr. Zari, principal of Hamilton High School, who allow for such long-standing traditions as this to be possible. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Tidyman, Mrs. Hufford, Mr. Bukite, Mr. Mayor Pat Moeller, Hamilton City Council members, Hamilton Rotary, and Lindenwold Kiwanis. Without your help, the students here today wouldn't have been able to see and experience the ins and outs of the government and school board. And without all of your help, days like today, which unite our two schools and give a new experience to us all, would not be possible. So thank you for everything that you've done. As I've said, over the past couple of months, the students of Civic Day, such as myself, have gone on several tours and have done many things to see what the city of Hamilton has to offer. For my tours, my first tour, I went to the police department, where I got to see everything that our police department does for our city. Going to this, I wasn't aware of so many things, such as their new facility which is being built that looks absolutely phenomenal. We were on our tour, we were given a little presentation and a slideshow of what the facility is like, and I was completely blown away by how much it has to offer, and I'm very excited for when this gets completed. And on my second tour, I visited the historic log cabin and the Butler County Soldiers Monument. This was my favorite tour, as I'm something of a history geek myself, and I love to learn about history. So for me, it was amazing to see how Hamilton enriches itself in its history. To see the log cabin made a couple hundred years ago, so well preserved, was baffling to me. So much care was put into preserving the history, and I think this is just amazing. The Butler County Soldiers Monument was a very nice and respectful place that honors all the lives lost protecting us, while also teaching history about our city and about the nation. Seeing how every soldier was honored and with their names on the wall and the wars they fought in was very touching for me to see. Overall, though, my shadow day was my favorite part. Myself and other council members were sat down in the council chambers, and we start to go over everything that we needed to know for today. We started to brainstorm on our legislation ideas and to think of ways we can help the city develop and grow. Throughout this experience, though, I started to realize how valuable this work was and how lucky we are to have an amazing council that does this for us. So much work is put in to run our city government, from our council and to all our departments. I remember attending a city council meeting back in October and seeing all the different agenda items that were going on at the same time, and just thinking how stressful it must be to go over all of this and how much work must be put in to get it all done. So I would like to thank our council members and all our departments for their hard work. Throughout this whole experience, I've learned so much about this city. And there's so much that makes this city amazing, and that's why I love it so much. And I've only touched on a few things of what Hamilton has to offer, but my main takeaway is what our local government does for us. All of the work to put in to make our city greater and greater with each passing day, with how they listen to citizens' needs and wants, and how they make this city accommodating for everyone in it. This is what makes Hamilton such a great place to live in. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
I hate to follow him, but I'm glad I followed him because he's did a great job, Connor. Now might be a good time, if you're involved, if you work for the city of Hamilton, please stand right now so we can all see folks here from the city of Hamilton. Now, I know I never like to stand up for these either, but everybody's got to stand up if you're involved with the city of Hamilton. Another round of applause for them. And thank you. Okay, if you're involved, work for Hamilton City Schools, please stand. Okay. Our next speaker, City Manager, Michaela Platt. All right. This might take a minute or two. Hang in there. All right. Hamiltonian magazine, she was on the cover of that. Had a great article inside. I'm not going to read the whole article, but you'll get the gist of it in just a few sentences. There is Busy, and then there's Michaela Platt. Involved in dance, cheerleading, president of 2025 senior class at Hamilton High School, 17-strong student group, another paragraph of things which I'm not going to all read. Obviously, she works well, makes friends with others, gets things done, and we are pleased to have you be the city manager on Civics Day. And again, your idea was about the mural, which would bring together students from Hamilton and Baden. Ladies and gentlemen, Michaela Platt.
Hello and good afternoon. For those who don't know, my name is Michaela Platt and I'm a senior at Hamilton High School. I've attended Hamilton City Schools since I was in kindergarten, and I've been involved in many school organizations and sports teams. I'm a member of a National Honor Society and 17-strong student group. I'm also senior class president for Student Council. I've been a Hamilton cheerleader since 7th grade and a varsity football and basketball cheerleader since my sophomore year. I am also on the varsity swim and dive team and varsity track and field team since my sophomore year. After my senior year, I plan to attend college and major in journalism and sports communication. I've been accepted to Ohio University, which is recently ranked as the #4 university in the nation and the #1 university in the state for journalism. I also plan on auditioning for their college dance team. I also got accepted into Arizona State, which even though it's a lot farther away, it is ranked #1 in the nation for journalism and sports communications, so my options are open. Civic Day is an amazing program that our school and city has to offer. This is my second year in this program, and I've learned so much about Hamilton and the leadership roles of the people who work in Hamilton. Last year, I was on the school board as the treasurer, and I had the opportunity to shadow at Baden. That was a great experience. It was awesome to see how the two schools do some things so similarly, but also do things a lot different. I was able to be on the school board with a lot of my friends from Hamilton, and I also made great friends with the participants from Baden. I created some lifelong friendships through this program, and we still keep in contact with one another. I actually had the opportunity to travel to Italy through the Wilkes Family Foundation with one of the friends that I met through the Civic Day program. Having a friend on the trip made the trip so much more enjoyable and memorable. Last year, some of the school board's ideas were actually implemented at Hamilton High School. The idea for sports record boards to be displayed and allowing the cheerleaders to stunt during games and competitions were approved this year. It was very rewarding to have the school and the school board consider our ideas and approve them. This year for Civic Day, I had the privilege of being the city manager. I would like to thank Mr. Craig Buchheit and Mallory Greenham for allowing me to shadow for the day and learn more about his job. Also, I would like to thank their amazing team for being so welcoming. I had the opportunity to talk to Hamilton's communication director and ask her questions about her job. I was interested in learning more about her role because I would like to major in journalism and become a sports broadcaster. After talking to her, made me realize that this is really what I do want to major in college. She gave me an overview of what she does daily for our city, and she also used to be a broadcaster before she transitioned to this job, so it was very nice being able to talk to her. I would like to thank everyone for allowing me to come up here and talk a little bit about myself and the incredible experience I've had with Civic Day. I would also like to thank Rotary and the Kiwanis Club for putting on this amazing event. Civic Day is truly a great program and gives the students in the city of Hamilton an opportunity to voice our opinions and how to continue to make our city better. Civic Day has truly impacted my life and continues to impact our city positively. Thank you.
Okay. Who's glad that Connor Wood is staying in the state of Ohio to go to school? Clap. All right. Michaela, there's no pressure at all on you to go to Ohio instead of Arizona State. Who'd be glad and happy to have Michaela go to school in Ohio and have both of them come back here to the city of Hamilton? All right, now it's time to hear from school board folks. And first that we have is School Board President Alexis Brecht. She'll introduce herself to you, but who'd be happy if Alexis went to school in Ohio? Absolutely no pressure.
Yep. All right, hi everyone. I'm Lexi Brecht and I'm a junior at Baden High School. Today I had the privilege of being school board president. Many of us in this room have waited and prepared for this day for what seemed like a whole semester, when in reality it was almost a whole semester. Before sharing my experience as school board president, I would like to thank many people who made this day possible. Without them, this long-standing tradition between Baden High School, Hamilton High School, and Hamilton in the city of Hamilton would have been put in the history books. So thank you to Mr. Braun and Mr. Seitz for going above and beyond and making sure each and every student was able to fulfill their shoes for the day. Thank you to both Mr. Keating and Mr. Zari, who not only welcomed us into their schools so we could learn from each other, but helped us along the way to make this experience possible. I would also like to thank Mr. Hufford and Mr. Tidyman, the mayor, city council, and the city manager, Craig Buchheit, for making this day possible. Lastly, I would like to thank Hamilton Rotary and Lindenwald Kiwanis for hosting this luncheon today for all of us to enjoy. Without you, me and many others would not have been able to have this amazing opportunity to learn more about our cities and schools and make a positive difference for those around us. To kick off this amazing experience, we went and job shouted for the day to see what our jobs were all about. The school board went to a separate building that was the old Hamilton Catholic High School, that is now the Hamilton City School Board's office building. There we heard from a multitude of people, including the head chef for Hamilton City School District, Chef Jonathan Zaragoza. I was not expecting this to be the main presentation, but I'm glad it was. He taught us all about food and the reason we get served the food we do. Also, we learned that salt gets put in sugar, which makes it more addictive. We then heard from Andre Gengerow, who is Hamilton City Schools Executive Director of Assessment Gifted Students and ELL students. He taught us all about how classes get scheduled, the inner workings of standardized tests, and helped us to understand how both the ELL and gifted student programs operate. These presentations inspired many members of the school board to make proposals addressing these issues in our schools. Between us asking a ton of questions and having so much fun, the day flew by. But there was one more thing we learned. We were doing a shadow day at each other's schools. We were immediately excited and nervous for our shadow days, but it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we couldn't pass up. Once we got the dates set, all we could do was wait. Maddie, Riley, and Lila came to Baden during homecoming week and learned that we love to be out of uniform all the time. Except at Hamilton, it is the everyday uniform of a student. Camila, Aiden, Jack, and I went to Hamilton a week later. Throughout both days, I learned so much about schools. They both work in similar ways, such as tardies, electives, 3 lunches, and 2 productions a year. While at Hamilton, we followed Maddie, Riley, and Lila throughout the day and got to experience their classes as well as got a full tour of the school. Seeing all of the amazing opportunities that were available and offered for students was incredible. From ROTC to show choir, there was an opportunity and place for everyone. This experience was unexpected, from the friends I made along the way to the interesting things I learned about our city and schools. But the most important thing I learned along the way was that we all play a unique role in the community, even if all our roles are similar. I thought that Hamilton students wouldn't be able to go a day at Baden, and the same was thought about us when we went to Hamilton. However, that was proved wrong very quickly. The daily routine was almost identical. The classes had the same content. There are the same few people you walk to class with or see often, but most importantly, we are all just teenagers trying to survive high school. Everyone here participating in Civic Day is participating out of necessity to pass a class. However, I'm sure many of us learned that this experience didn't just allow us to pass a class, but it allowed us to pass in life. We got to connect and network with many members of our community, learn how our government helps and contributes to our greater community, and most importantly, how we can make decisions to contribute to make a positive difference in our community. Thank you for listening.
Alexis did a great job as the school board president. And you think about it, that opportunity to visit another school really opens your eyes about maybe working together more, maybe what you learned at Baden you could take over to Hamilton High, what you learned at Hamilton High you take back to Baden. I mean, that is such an opportunity, and that happened more often. It could make for a stronger bond between these two schools. A lot of these folks are juniors. I mean, I'm amazed at that. I'm not sure if I can even tie my own shoes when I was a junior, but all right. We next have School Board Superintendent Madeline Wagenfield. Now, I've already talked about her a lot, but I know you want to hear from her. Madeline.
Good afternoon. My name is Madeline Wagenfield. I'm currently a junior attending Hamilton High School, and I'm honored to have been chosen to play the role of superintendent for Civic Day Class of 2025. I stand before you all today to share the insights I gained from the numerous tours and other learning experiences that I've had as a participant in Civic Day. The experience was eye-opening as both a student and a Hamilton citizen, and I feel incredibly fortunate to have been granted this opportunity. However, before I continue, I would like to express my gratitude to the Hamilton City Council, Mayor Pat Mueller, City Manager Craig Buchheit, the Hamilton City School District, Mr. Zeri, Principal of Hamilton, and Mr. Keating, Principal of Baden, Mr. Braun of Hamilton and Mr. Seitz of Baden for really taking the reins, and Hamilton Rotary and Kiwanis for hosting our luncheon this afternoon. None of this would have been possible if it weren't for your dedication to youth engagement. When I turned in my application to show my interest in participating for Civic Day, I knew that it would be an incredible learning opportunity. I also knew that that meant I had the chance to dress up and pretend to be really important. However, I took away so much more from this program than I ever could have imagined. For example, taking tours around the city of Hamilton opened my eyes to things I had never experienced. We walked among shops, buildings, and parks that I'd visited many times before, but what I learned from my guide transformed these buildings into testimonies of rich history, pieces of an intricate puzzle, cogs in a machine pushing towards our city's bright future. On one tour, I was able to visit Hamilton's Dam, and I learned how the city has taken action to promise safety to Hamilton citizens and prevent flooding. On another, I toured our downtown strip, hearing just a few of the hundreds of stories that it has to tell. This city is made up of so many moving parts that allow it to function as a whole, parts that run together so seamlessly that I'd never noticed them before. Walking around the city and hearing the countless narratives of new life and rebirth was awe-inspiring. Restaurants have transformed rotting historical buildings and made them anew. Small businesses brought life to a once dead downtown scene, and murals and sculptures painted what was a gray industrial city in bright, lively colors. Having lived in Hamilton all my life, I was shocked by how much I hadn't known before, and I'm forever grateful to have had the chance to walk through historical and modern parts of our city alike. Civic Day allowed me to experience everyday locations from a completely new perspective, and by paying attention to the small details, the way local businesses support our economy, how the arts contribute to our cultural identity, and how many dedicated councils, boards, and organizations allow Hamilton to function, I learned to truly recognize and appreciate the interconnectedness of our community. By being put in the chair of one of Hamilton's leaders, I also gained a massive amount of respect for the devoted individuals who have facilitated our city's growth and encouraged our vibrant, enthusiastic community. Taking a seat in the city council chambers felt surreal for so many different reasons. I mean, I felt like I was living in my future for just a moment. Then an even better thought hit me. I was living it now. This was more than just a carefully scripted act or scene. While I was playing a part, I was myself, Madeline Wagenfield, as superintendent. I was sharing my ideas with a room full of people who wanted to listen and take action. I didn't have to wait. This kind of voice in my community wasn't unlocked when I grew up or if I was elected onto a board or a council. I, as a high school student, had this power now, and I had the support of my city and district leaders behind me. I knew they saw me and my peers as yet another important piece of Hamilton's puzzle, if you will, part of what makes our community complete. What you've done and the climate you all have nurtured is extraordinary, and as a member of the youth population, I cannot thank you enough for providing the security. In a world where it's common for teenagers to feel disregarded and depreciated, it means the world to us to be valued. Overall, this opportunity was invaluable, and I'll carry it with me for the rest of my life. After experiencing Civic Day and gaining a deeper appreciation of our city, I could not be more proud to call myself a Hamilton citizen. Thank you.
Okay, would all the students involved in Civics Day, class of 2025 Civics Day, please stand up. Thank you for participating in this this tradition, which is what it is. And what I think is kind of neat is I'm not going to say these are Hamilton students. I'm not going to say these are Baden students. You're all Hamilton leaders right now. I mean, your ideas have already caused old folks like me to start thinking, why not? So, Hamilton, Baden, hey, Hamilton leaders is what you are. I want to ask you to please consider joining Kiwanis Rotary when the time is right in your lives. They are service groups. They get a lot of things done. They're behind the scenes of a lot of great things going on in our city, whether it's volunteering, raising money. They both do great things for our city. I want to thank all of you for being a part of Civics Day, whether you were a student, whether you were somebody who was followed, for just even being here and saluting and saying thank you to our Hamilton leaders. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks for Kim and Pat for the shout outs for the community service organizations in town. On behalf of Lindenwold, Kiwanis, and Hamilton Rotary, we thank all the participants for the great work that you've done over the last couple of months and arrive at a very successful Civic Day. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.